Hey guys, welcome to Daily Bible Study. I am in the car driving to a meeting and thought I would jump on here. And I'm not driving, Selena's driving, that's a good point. But I wanted to talk about our scriptures today. Our chapters were Deuteronomy 22 through 24. And I believe these chapters are an incredible mosaic of laws and instructions that when you read it at first glance, you might think that it might be distant or like disconnected from our modern lives. But I think if we look at it a little closer, we'll see a kind of a thread here. And that thread is like a call to weave compassion and kindness into the fabric of our daily interactions. And so I want us to think about that for a moment. The first thing that we see in chapter 22 is like a fabric of community. Now, Deuteronomy 22 presents a series of laws that at their core, they aim to protect and uphold the dignity and well-being of individuals from within the community. So if you think about somebody losing their property to its owner, to ensuring the safety of someone's household, these were commands that underscored a fundamental principle that we are our brothers and our sisters' keeper. Now imagine for a second if you're walking down a path and you found a lost item. Well, the law to return it may seem simple, but it embodies a profound respect for personal property and mutual care. And what that does is it reinforces the fabric of trust and responsibility in the community. Now, that seems foreign in some of our cultures today. But 23 goes on to talk about the cloak of justice. And so in this chapter, we encounter the guidelines that safeguard the sanctity of relationships in communal integrities, right? So it addresses a diverse aspect of life, whether it's from the purity of the camp to the fair treatment of escaped slaves, right? It's one of my favorite passages that we see regarding the sanctuary cities of refuge, right? So it emphasizes a justice that protects and includes people. If you consider the command not to return the escaped slave to their master, but to let them live among you in freedom, that's kind of a directive not only that champions the rights and dignity of the individual, but it also calls the community to act as a haven of justice and compassion. That's an interesting concept in our world today. The idea of communities being a haven of justice and compassion. And it kind of leads us to this garment of kindness, where we see this aspect of social justice, where we care for the vulnerable, such as widows, orphans, or even foreigners. It teaches us to leave behind a portion of our harvest for those in need. And that reminds us of the practice of kindness, that it's not just optional, but it's a critical thread in the tapestry of living a godly life. Imagine if you were in a field with corners left unharvested, and a tangible sign of provision for the less fortunate was that you would leave those there, right? That act of kindness is a model for how we are called to intentionally create spaces of generosity in our lives. So how are you doing that today? How are you intentionally creating spaces of generosity in your life? I believe these chapters challenge us to view our daily lives through the lens of compassion, justice, and kindness. These chapters remind us that every action, no matter how small, contributes to the weaving of a community that reflects God's heart. My prayer today is that we would commit to be weavers of compassion, that we would craft a world where love and justice are together into the very fabric of society. That's what the church and the people of God are supposed to do. And so, Lord, would you grant us your wisdom today to see in your face those around us, and give us the strength to serve with compassion today, God. We love you and we thank you. Take care, guys. I love you.